Very good afternoon. It's 2 o'clock in India. Okay, I came back to India just today morning, and finally we are having this live session after about a week or more. And I just missed these live sessions all throughout when I was outside, and I really appreciate you all taking your time, your precious time today, and coming to this live session. So I welcome you all once again. Many new faces over here, and we are going to now cut around discussing markets from the technical point of view, take up some stocks, take up the broader indexes, etc., and show you all how I'm trying to analyze as the bits and pieces of different analytical tools allow me to look through the market, right? So how many new people over here attending the webinar for the first time? You can raise your hands over here. Yeah, many new people over here. Great. Yeah, if you want, you can ask me any question, right? And I'm going to start with telling you one thing. A lot of you over here have sent me some private messages also. I've not been able to reply recently. I was not in India, and now it was difficult without the SIM outside, etc. What I can say is I have received all these messages. All of you have a lot of potential who are messaging me different charts, etc. And definitely I'm going to discuss more on certain concepts which came across on those messages today. Okay, so that would include certain things like Bollinger Bands, wave count and extensions, etc. Okay, today we're going to cut around to those things. So guys, this is the chart of Nifty particularly today, and as I have been telling recently, okay, before I went, we were somewhere around in an uptrend, and the market continued in an uptrend after I sort of was away for a while from these live sessions. Okay, and we did come across around this area, which the previous line, and you can go back to the YouTube channel, and those who are watching this on YouTube can join the link below to my Telegram channel and follow me on Telegram with more than about 10,000 followers. So you can see this area, this zone. What is important is what price does when it comes to the important zones. Okay, so take your notes, guys. When price comes to the important zones, it is important to see what it does once it's here. Okay, now while the price was coming up, we're continuously discussing about the structure of breaking these zones and going ahead. Now this teaches us something, that the important interaction points both attract and repel price movement. They both attract as well as repel price movement. Okay, after that we have seen that the Nifty coming back here, and of course the breadth has weakened since then, and that is why there has been some directional down move. Okay, I missed all of that action with live sessions, but definitely now we're going to discuss. In the absence, when these live sessions were not happening, a downtrend had clearly started. There was a significant distribution. That means the stronger hands ended up giving a lot of stocks to the weaker hands, and the weaker hands became very extreme and aggressive in these extreme zones which we just saw on the daily chart. So the price is not able to sustain over here, and therefore there is a downtrend which has followed through. Okay, now when the downtrend has followed through, the two important things which we need to know is that first, the assumption of it being a downtrend, play more aggressively on the stocks which are going on the downside, and be a little more conservative on the stocks and choose selectively what is going on the upside. But when the price is in an overall uptrend, until a very significant reversal happens, the assumption is that we stay in an uptrend. A downtrend can have its various pullbacks, and to my knowledge, my understanding as we speak, I feel that sort of scenario is what building up right now. I feel that right now we can see a significant bounce from these regions as the market may cross 10,670 area, and if we just cross above this zone, okay, let me just make a line over here just to tell you all clearly. I think we should head higher. Okay, because two reasons. You see the cluster of candles over here. Okay, you see the cluster of candles over here. The cluster of candles over here is teaching us something, that there is a lot of choppiness, there's a lot of fight between the buyers and sellers. Okay, and if these buyers and sellers fight can be overwhelmed by either the bulls or the bears, then we will see some directional move taking place. So when the market has come down, we have to notice how it has come down, how things have been. When the market has come down, markets when they go down generally are far more volatile than when they go up. Okay. But in this case, when the market has come down, it has come down without a structural structure around it. Okay, without a structural base and very big sort of distribution around it. Therefore, I am not that particularly bearish in the current market scenario. Therefore, I'm not that particularly bearish in the current market scenario. I'm either sideways or waiting for the market to turn around and become bullish at the moment. Okay. And how would the market turn around and become bullish? Either we break out from the 10,570 area, sorry, 670 area. Let me just redraw this little horizontal line which I just made. Okay, there are lots of lines. So just one second. There are lots of lines and there's a big box on my computer screen also. Just give me 1 second. So number 7. Yeah, 17. Yeah. So what I will do right now is, you see this area, this yellow line which we previously made, and just below this right now, if we cross around these levels where the market is actually heading towards, which is above the higher wick, so we see a cluster of candles which represents as a consolidation. In this cluster of candles, we see a candle which is over here with a long lower wick, guys. This is what is the market is telling us, that the lower prices are being rejected, are being rejected and buyers are coming in. So you want this market to actually head higher. But when you head higher, when you see this happening, you see this happening after a downward and an upward, or do you see it happening in a consolidation? You see it happening in a consolidation. So what we need to do is we need to be clear about the upcoming resistance. If these resistance are taken out, that means this is exactly what we thought it is. This is exactly what I thought it is. Are you all with me, guys? Okay, everybody who's understanding what I'm trying to say, kindly raise your hand and show me what I'm trying to say. That this is showing me that the market is rejecting lower levels. There's a long wick. That means within one candle, the market went down and zoom went up also. So that is showing me power. All those who are understanding what I'm trying to say, kindly raise your hands. Okay. All the new faces, I welcome you all. Right. Okay, now let me see what all is there over here to support my evidences as I'm talking. Right, as I'm talking, let's see what is there to support my evidences. I'll keep it as simple as possible. Okay, here in this region, we see that there is a zone between two interaction points. So that is something which is number one, very interesting. Number two, so this area which I see, and a lot of messages are coming. Hold on a little bit, I'll take up each and every message. Okay, so we are saying that in between this area, we have taken some sort of a break of the fall, right? The other thing which I notice is the market has not gone below yesterday's low. So market has not gone below yesterday's lows. Understand the psychology, guys. Yesterday and today create a merging of 2 days. Okay, creates a merging of 2 different days of price action. So the psychology of the weaker hands in this lower extreme is that a lot of weak hands are short. So if the lot of weak hands are short, what the market should do is create a bear trap. So all the bears come and go short and the market actually pulls up. So maybe we're seeing the bear trap scenario. So this is my evidence number 2, that important interaction zone number 1 was a candlestick with a strong wick of the lower end, which is representing to me that there is a lot of strength from the buy side, and it will get confirmed if this consolidation is taken out. Okay, we just 10-20 points away from that area, from that powerful consolidation. The third evidence is that this previous day's low has not been taken. So if 2 days price action we merge, we understand the previous day the bear trap had already started. So the previous day low has not been taken, number 1. Number 2, the zone. Number 3, we see the candlesticks. Okay, now I'm going to pull up the RSI and then I'm going to put up the Bollinger Band. Let's see what they have to tell us. Now RSI in an ongoing uptrend, the range which I prefer to look at, and that is how I teach students, RSI is not about 40 and 30 and 70. RSI generally on the lower end or on the upper end change with the different trends of the market. So the different trends of the market need to tell me, like the different trends on the bull market, it will be between 40 and 80. So let's see if where the RSI has come. The RSI has shown us a low which is below 30, and that is not very bullish. That part is particularly not very bullish, but we need to have RSI above this area, at least above the mean, to tell me more bullishness. So this gives me evidences of average bullishness, not too much bullishness, average bullishness. Okay, not too much bullishness, and that too average bullishness only because if you see the RSI is not going down in a very deep cut. When the RSI goes down in one cut, okay, when the RSI goes down in one cut, excuse me guys, I'll just draw it for you. Okay, when the RSI cut is something like this, the sellers, okay, are sharply pushing the market down. Therefore, you can expect more downsides. Okay, but with the RSI is going step by step like this, that is showing me a softer way of going now, a softer way of the market going now. So there's this mild average bullishness. So we take this as a small example. What the scenario with my different little evidences I'm joining in, putting it together, is showing me that right now either we can see some more consolidation and a possible up move after that, or a possible up move right as we speak right now. So what do we do other than this to find out about what is going to happen? Let's take a look at Bank Nifty, let's take a look at other stocks, etc., and see if they're showing us bullishness or bearishness. Because if it is showing us bearishness, the market may go down also. So we need to be careful, and we need to let the evidences come together, let the technical picture come together. And before I get into those other stocks, etc., let me just take up a lot of questions because a lot of questions have gathered right now. Okay. Uh, so Mr. Anil Jain, Mr. Pritam Das who has left, Pritam Das is left his question incomplete. Uh, Shakti Gandhi ji, no, I'm back in my city, back in India, Mr. Shakti. So today we're having a live session for that reason. Uh, okay, so why is the market falling so much is the first question. The first question, why the market is falling so much? Now please understand, market follows a price mechanism. Market follows a price mechanism. Now I know all of you think that India is growing and there's a lot of economy and a long term we should be going up, but there is a reality gap between the fundamentals and the short term price movement. The fundamentals catch up with the price and the value in the long term, but the technical analysis can tell us about the short-term price movement, the nature of short-term price movement, and it has a predictive ability looking at the nature of short-term price movement from time to time. All the time you will not get a trade trigger, okay? All the time you will not get a trade trigger. Now let's look at the consolidation which is happening in Bank Nifty. Now here I see that the recent low has been taken. So when you don't get all the time a trade trigger, what you need to do is you need to follow technical analysis. You need to take each and every concept, and you see that all these concepts put together give you a weightage of evidence on the bullish side or the bearish side, and whichever side it gives you the bullish or bearish evidence, that way you start looking for the trade trigger. Once you make the trade trigger, how do you make the trade trigger? For that you have to make the trade design. This is a step-by-step process. In each of my sessions, in the paid course, each of my sessions, different aspect of technical analysis, a different variable is taught to you. It is just not like, I know so many people over here, and definitely they want to know more, right? Okay, different different sort of variables talk to you, right? Different sort of variables talk to you. So when these different sort of variables talk to you, each and every session, I teach you each and every different variable, and all these put together become beautiful trade design. Then what is important is to focus on your trading psychology, because the trading psychology is what keeps your head in the game when the market transitions is happening. So you can allow yourself to relish how the transition is happening. The second is, The second is very important, money management and taking a break from volatility. Volatility will keep screaming up and screaming down. So let's take, for example, speaking of volatility, let's take Bollinger Bands. Okay, we were looking at the chart of Nifty and we saw that the lower end of the Bollinger Band had been penetrated recently. This is a bearish evidence. But after that, the Bollinger Band penetration, the where is the price right now? The lower end of the Bollinger Band. So this entire scenario is calling for a little more consolidation to happen. So my indicators regarding momentum and volatility, which are not price indicators, which are a second order derivative of price, they're not directly price. Okay, they are telling me that the market is not ready to move in a very big way. But my candlesticks are telling me that the market can be ready to move. Okay, and my consolidation, that is a pattern based analysis, the line studies are telling me wait a little bit more until the breakouts happen. So both these evidences are there. And what I'm going to now importantly look at is I'm going to go to the different stocks. Okay, go to the different stocks. I'm going to in between keep up taking questions as they come. So this is a list of Nifty 50 stocks. For example, we come here. Adani Ports has been an all-time favorite, we know. Okay. Now what I tend to do is during market hours, I flip around the stocks sometimes. Sometimes I just flip around the stocks. Okay, yes, I do have some strategies in place, etc. I can teach you if you come to the course how to create your own strategies. You can use different charting softwares, maybe this also. So we put queries and we put the alerts, etc. Me and my team do that. Okay, so today what we were looking at particularly, I'll come to those stocks. Okay, but if you look at the different stocks and you keep dwindling and flipping around with how the market is behaving with the breadth, you get a fair idea if most of the stocks are still in that bearish zone or still in the bullish zone. Okay, you get a fair idea. Now you see, for example, something like Cipla is falling dramatically. Something like the pharma sector is falling dramatically in some of those stocks, especially very sharply. Okay, you look at Coal India, which we had spoken about in the recent past, and I still have these lines made around Coal India very clearly. You can see how the level of 257 has now. This is showing us a weakness. These are strong selling happening in certain stock, which is showing us a strong level of weakness. Look at how Grasim is going down, right? So we have strong levels of weakness at some places. So given that scenario, it takes time for these sharp pullbacks to set up a base. So if the base is set up and ready, then we may say a pullback. Okay, now I'm putting the analysis right in front of you together, because it's just been quite a little hectic travel and I've just come back. As we speak right now, I feel infra trail can be a very wonderful sell because the Bollinger Band setup is all ready to bust. So at 252.85, 252.90 as I'm speaking right now, infra trail can be a very good sell. Now, as I'm going and flipping over through different stocks, I see that the weight of the bearishness and the bullishness is not very much on the bullish side, it's on the bearish side. And the breakout, as we were seeing, is not happened. So the evidence of the candlestick may or may not be, that very strong. So we need to keep that focus. This consolidation may be there. Okay, and every time I'm giving a live session, 80% of the time some or the other thing ends up happening within the session. Okay, but definitely one thing I can tell you, all the time you will not get a trade, right? I will share my view, Mr. Shukla, no problem. I will share my view about that. Can just send me the symbol of the stock. It will be easier for me to get in my software in case there is any confusion, right? So if I keep flipping around with stocks and I keep flipping around, I get an idea of the market breadth, which is a very important factor in our analysis. And that is a very subjective factor. How many stocks are doing what? Now, while the market had taken a break right now, I was having my eyes, and you could all see on the stock Reliance, and these other eyes I had on the TVS Motors, on UPL, on no, this is UPL. I'm putting on TVS Motors, which was very interesting. After a strong fall, it has shown us a pullback. Okay, Bharat Forge, yeah. which is going down very dramatically and is expected to continue its downtrend to a certain degree, because look at the fall. I mean, look at the steepness right now. It is not something which just stops right and reverses. Okay, so we had these stocks in radar, then we had stocks like Infratel before this had started to budge right now up before 15-20 minutes. Okay, then we had stocks like, okay, I'm getting some questions. Yeah, I had Reliance, as I said. So Reliance was on my radar. Now Reliance was something very interesting. Now if you go to the, I'll just go to the hourly chart. If you go to any of my recent videos, okay, why was Reliance on my radar particularly, was because it had come to a super important zone. Super important zone. Now if you go to my previous YouTube videos, which is just recent past live sessions, I've spoken about Reliance, and many of my students have used these levels as very important, and they have identified those levels themselves. That's what we do in the first chapter, and many of them have used these levels very smartly with Bollinger Bands and with other indicators and other concepts which we teach, and they've taken these trades, and you can see how important this level still is, because when the market has just come here, it's showing the choppiness which it needs to show. Was also on the lower end of the Bollinger Band. So I thought Reliance would be a very important candidate to look forward to from the bullish side, because not a lot of stocks are bullish right now otherwise. Okay, so from the support point of view, speaking from that, okay, so if we keep looking for the different stocks and different kind of breadth the stocks are showing, we can get a clear idea. And if we put the pieces of puzzle together, okay, you can see how I just put the pieces of puzzle together. It's a particular science to do it, right? Now first of all, let me ask you one question. Right now, as I was speaking 15 minutes back, okay, if you saw this, okay, I'm putting the 15 minutes chart, if you saw the market going up, and if you were sitting on your screen, how many of you would have easily gone long in just seeing the price go up? How many of you? Raise your hands. How many of you would have just easily gone long just by seeing that the market is going up, right? Oh my God, so many hands are raised up. Wow. See, now this is what happens when people don't assume that technical analysis is about getting a lot of variables together and weighing them in a wise way before taking a trade. Okay, so you can see how the market showed that it is trying to go up, and then it just went back down. So this multiple time frames, this with the hourly time frame and everything, is just not enough to do it with one concept in isolation. And that is why I was putting all the evidences together, and two of our evidence did not show so much bullishness, and those were the momentum evidence and the volatility evidence. So this is clearly showing us that even if I sit here for 1 hour, 2 hours like this, maybe the market may be still in consolidation. We never know. Okay, and when the basing is made, and if it has to give a strong pullback, it will give with a lot of things. On the other hand, a lot of stocks will start showing bullish or bearish breakouts even before Nifty does. So that is one thing which we need to consider, right? Okay, Suman Life Science. Okay, as we are speaking right now, just 5 minutes back, I was talking about we are just 30-40% down from those levels now, easily. I was just talking about Infratel as the live session was going on. How many of you understood what I'm trying to say? I know I did not explain the analysis. Okay, Anilji, I'll take up VDL, and I will take up other stocks like Reliance and Wipro, everything. Okay, now here the Bollinger Band is showing us a certain kind of influence. Now this influence of Bollinger Band, obviously if you want to know more about Bollinger Bands, RSI and everything very clearly, come to the paid course, come to the paid course. At the paid course, 15 sessions and full of knowledge forever, lifetime support. Our inner circle group does meeting every month, and it is all for free. The course fees is just 12,500 rupees. I've learned from the best in the world. I'm here to give you the best in the world. So believe me, if you are really interested in the course, this is not a sales pitch. I'm just going to talk about it once. If you are interested in the course, you can just type in your number and my team will get back to you. Let's get back to the session. You can just message me your number. Let's get back to the session. So here Bollinger Band is showing me that there's a crunch in volatility. So when there is a squeeze in volatility and stays on consistently, that means that we can expect the volatility to rise after this. So there's an extreme squeeze in volatility and rise in volatility. Squeeze in volatility, rise in volatility. That is how the volatility always tends to revert to the mean and always tend to exchange places, alter always, right? So that is one thing I saw from the Bollinger point of view, that the Bollinger Band, which had not been penetrated on the upside or on the downside. That means that the Bollinger Band is not in the up extreme or in the down extreme, is now flattening. And if it has flattened up, it has flattened up. What do I see? That at some level, the crossing of this Bollinger Band on the lower end shows me that now we are ready to expand in volatility. Now we are ready to expand in volatility, right? A calm before the storm. Absolutely, Sunay. Right. Absolutely. A calm before the storm, we can say, right? So this is how you are going to approach Bollinger Bands. Now, this is not the only thing which I'm looking at particularly. The other thing which I'm looking at is, if the price cannot sustain a very strong long-legged doji or a long-legged hammer, if the price cannot sustain that, that means that maybe this entire area is a pullback. So therefore, it can go back to the lower end or near the lows of this. And as we approach this lower half of this wick, the lower parts of this wick, we may see some support areas. But if before that, if the price is not being able to sustain this area, that means there's something bearish about it, right? Then if we look at the hourly RSI, we can also see the hourly RSI forming a cluster and slipping down from the 40 area. So we see multiple evidences, and obviously trading is always about understanding the probability game, right? It is not about certainty. It's always about understanding the probability game, right? So, okay, I'm going to take up each and every stock. So let's start with VDL, and then I'll go to Sun Pharma, okay? And so in life sciences and so on, whatever you are saying. Yeah, so VEDL somebody is mentioning. Now, I don't know what you have seen in this particular stock. From my humble point of view, I feel that the stock which has been on a bearish trend, you should not assume all of a sudden that there can be something bullish. Obviously, if your set of assumptions include a studied approach which you have tried and tested, and that is how I teach, okay, that is how you can exactly say that maybe this transition or reversal has happened and you can make money of it. But right now, if the stock is not showing a lot of bullishness, there is no evidence which is showing actually more evidence of bearishness than bullishness. Why should I'll be honest with you. Okay, there's more evidence of bearishness than bullishness. Yes, I can say that, in the previous weeks, last week's low has not been taken out, and therefore some evidence can build on, but I would not buy it in a hurry. I would definitely buy if there's a reversal. It will give me enough time and it will give me enough signs. Just like Nifty is giving me enough time and enough signs. If it has to go up, then I will be there in the long side at the right places. I don't have to worry about that, right? But it will go up and the breakout will come when a lot of stocks are prepared, and therefore, just before you're cooking some food, you're cooking good food, you need it to simmer a little bit, cook a little bit, and then the smell comes out and then you can eat it. It becomes eatable, right? Just like that, it doesn't happen. So that is how the price sometimes prepares itself and gathers the steam to go in one direction. Sun Pharma, somebody is talking about. Oh, this is a lovely stock. We have been talking about a Sun Pharma becoming a very good positional sell from very good time. Okay, we are talking about, again, I've talked about Lupin in the recent past live videos. You can check. Okay, but Lupin did not break out all these levels at first. It went on the higher end of the range and then went down. But yes, Sun Pharma has been a classic downtrend. It has, and this concept has been told again and again with other examples, that first we have tested the support and then we have broken the support with power. So this means lower levels are coming, and we see how lower levels are coming. The price is extended itself. So that is the perspective about Sun Pharma, right? Yes, Mr. Anilji, uh, my course helps you in the long term investing also, provided you have to wait. Okay, every, like for example, somebody wants to do intraday trades. My intraday students who trade only intraday, they take about 2, 3, 5 trades, maximum 4, 5 trades in a day, because I tell them to take trades which are good, don't overtrade, and sometimes they just take one trade a day or 2 trades a day, and they're done. Okay, the students who trade for short term, they take one trade in a day, or one trade or 2 trades in a matter of 3 to 4 days. The students who trade for the medium term or the long term, they will take selective trades. So of course it does help you, but the market takes time to develop the technical factors in different time frames, and therefore the moves in different time frames happen at a different frequency. That is one new thing. And I tell you honestly, if you have the knack for trading, if you have the knack for investment, if you have the knack for markets, you should do the course, because it is all that knack and passion what is required, which is what I want in students. I don't want students just to come for the heck of it, and it's not a very big amount in front of what markets can reward with you, you with the market can reward with you, you with a lot of money, and 12,500 rupees a course fee for something you're learning for life is just amazing. Okay, and this is built on the basis of only one thing. Had I been in a different position, it took me a lot of hard work, a lot of different authors, a lot of reading, a lot of doing stuff which was like which was not very easy to get hold of. It was not very easy to get hold of those things. Okay, so it took me a lot of hard work to get over here with a lot of knowledge. So make sure, what I'm trying to say is basically that make sure why you're coming to this course is not because I'm telling you to, it's because I would have wanted someone to teach me in the same way as I would want to teach you, right? That's the whole reason why we're teaching this course like this. One second, anybody asking question? Somebody is asking. Okay, I've got people who are sending in their numbers. Okay, I'm talking about Kotak Bank, right? I'll talk about Kotak Bank. Not an issue. Not an issue. So let's talk about Kotak Bank. Uh, yeah, Kotak Bank had been a strong uptrend recently, and after that it has come down sharply and taken a support in the previous zone, which was important. So this is the zone which was important over here, and has taken a support in this zone. So there is nothing much to talk about it. Sometimes what happens is when it comes to the news category of stocks, or when there's something catalyst as a news, okay, news do not move the market. This I can show you anytime. I've done this before also. You can just go to any of my live sessions or weekly sessions, and you will know that how before big moves I have told that the market is about to move in this stock or that stock. Okay, now if you notice the movement, the trend had been there building up after it had come and taken a support at the lower levels, which were these on the daily chart as well as on the hourly chart as well on the 15-minute chart. And the kind of extension it has seen in price has been magnanimous. It has not even abnormal extension. Okay, so this abnormal extension has gone up and has taken a deep correction at the moment. So that is what my view is, that there's particularly no trigger to enter the trade. Okay, to enter the stock at the moment. Maybe some development happens. At the moment, I don't have any view, because the more the volatility, the deeper will be the corrections, and because there will be all this bigger swings of movement happening, the wiser thing to do is to wait for the market to show you what is going to happen. Yes, somebody asking hello, somebody saying hello, welcome you all. So I have got some other stocks on my radar. which I wanted to discuss with you. Before that, Suvan, somebody's been asking, and there's so many messages. HUL, okay, I will talk about HUL. One second first. Um, okay, somebody says that they want to talk to me directly. Okay, guys, I don't want to give my number openly in the video, so I'll just give it over here or the message. Okay, maybe I'll give it open in the video also. It's very easy to contact my team, no problem. But if you want to talk to me personally, this is my number, no problem. Yeah. So no particular view on Suven Life Sciences. It's something which is a long-term uptrend. Now you have to place yourself in from an investor point of view or a trader point of view. You need to from a trader point of view, which I personally believe is the better view when it comes to day-to-day basis. Okay. Maybe I find something after 2 months in Suven Life Sciences. If I talk from an investment point of view. From a trader point of view, I would not say there's something much to look at. At the moment, there's a downtrend. So if you want to trade with the trend, yes. And if there are bullish developments at the lower end of this range, the lower end where you see these interaction points coming together, maybe some trigger you will get. Till then, you follow the downtrend and you wait for better trades to come about. Now, when it comes to something which is semi-liquid stock, a mid-cap stock, more volatile, wait for the better moves to come about. That is what I would say. We had on our radar SBI also. So again, SBI doing interesting things that we saw this SBI had been in a small cluster. Okay, had been talking about it a little before around these areas also. Okay, now we saw that this cluster has led to a certain down move, and after this certain down move is taken, it has come to this and it has made a lower low. So the lower low scenario it still continues, and how it continues we have to see from this level depending on what it does over here. If it does something which is bullish, then fine, we could have a bounce back, but otherwise we can go down more fiercely. Okay, we can go down more fiercely. Why? Because once the support is taken, the next time it's broken with more ferocity. So we have to wait for those triggers to come about. The other stock which I already spoke about was, but no, which I spoke about was Reliance. I spoke about Bharat Forge. Let's see Bharat Forge again, then we'll go to Balkrishna. So Bharat Forge, yes, steep downtrend happening, and for intraday offer, if I see from yesterday to today, okay, if I see from yesterday to today, I could say that there is a particular up move which was a very weak up move, okay, and there was a bearish engulfing pattern. So I would not call it really a rising wedge, but yeah, it is sort of a rising wedge if I have to use the best term. A very exhaustive move which had happened. This had an exhaustive move, and in the between of a very strong down move which was happening. So when today's candle was this, it came on our radar today morning. So me and my team were looking at Bharat Forge also. Now we have somebody is asking about, one second. So we have discussed, okay, we'll discuss these talks also. Guys, just wait a little bit. Then we'll come to Balkrishna. Okay. Okay, what do we see over here? What do we see? We see market is now still sideways. So Balkrishna, one second. Let me know, guys, if the market just goes about 10 points higher, starts going, then I'll come to it. Because my eyes will be on the chart all the time. Where will the move go if my eyes are on the charts and if I'm analyzing well? So Balkrishna has been on our radar because it's a superb down move we have seen in the recent past. Superb volatile stock. And we saw the ABC pattern. Now what is ABC? ABC, for you, for knowing what ABC is, You need to understand Elliott wave theory and you need to understand it well. If you want to do that, of course, you can join the paid course. Again, somebody has just sent me the number regarding joining the paid course. So definitely 15 December we are starting. 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. will be the session. And if you miss the session, the recording will be ready. And here we go. Nifty is now going up, up and away. Now we see up and away in Nifty, and therefore we may see something interesting in SBI and in Bank Nifty too. So guys, hold on your horses, and the breakout is here. Up and away. We will without crossing the previous day's low. Okay, just give me a second. I will buy a little bit on the calls on Nifty as it goes above 70. Right? Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. This is what I like about these live sessions. Sometimes you can just talk about the stocks and then things starts happening, and then you look at across the different kind of this thing. So we are very close to the breakout. So I did talk about this, and I didn't know it would happen so soon, but I did talk about this in clear details. Oh my god, this is amazing. Blah blah blah. Let's go up. Let's go buy Nifty. I'm long on calls, guys. I don't know what you guys are doing, but the time is to make money. Make money, guys. Make money. Here you go. This is what I like. This is the excitement and the juice of trading. I'm already about 12 rupees up on each call. I'm about to exit some after it makes another 20-30 point move, and then the rest I will hold for tomorrow. Okay, let's see. Money management in place. So my trade is in the money. I cannot lose money in this. My trade is in the money. I cannot lose money in this now. Beautiful. So guys, yeah, so I'm coming back to the various stocks which we're talking about. Now excitement zero. Shh. Let's talk about the stocks. So SBI, let's wait for it to budge around what it is doing. Bank Nifty, let's wait for it to cross these areas, right? Let's wait for it to cross these areas. And looks like very bullish. Okay. We see Bajaj Auto right now as I'm speaking. Mamma mia, it can go and cross the resistances. That would be bullish too. We need to be a little calm and select the stocks slowly and steadily, seeing what are the evidences in place, right? Slowly and steadily. Yeah. Somebody was asking about Wipro. Let's take out Wipro. So Wipro has been consolidating in the morning and going up. I have no particular view, but the daily candle looks very strong. Okay, so I don't have a short-term view. The daily candle looks strong. I don't have an intraday view. The daily candle looks strong. Okay, so this my inference would be if you want to buy from a short-term positional point of view, go long and follow the trend. And otherwise, if you want to trade intraday, then you need to wait for some developments to happen. That is how we have to look at. Okay, steadily looking at how the breadth is building up or if it is not building up. Okay guys, these are markets. We need to assume that the trend should continue, and that's how you make the bigger money, right? Another person has just sent me the message of their number to join the course, right? Okay, I'm going to look at Mindtree now. Okay, just a second guys. So Mindtree. Let me see Mindtree. So Mindtree guys is interesting in terms of the fact that I have spoken about it recently, that when it was over here in one of my weekly sessions, that look for certain down moves. Now whenever after such deep cuts there's a down move and there's a pullback, you expect the market to be a little choppy. I would say if you're looking on the long side, unless you're an investor, avoid and stay away for the long side and wait for some more development to happen. That's particularly my view. Okay. You're talking about Shakti ji, you're talking about which stock? Idea. Okay, idea. Asha, I thought you were asking about my idea on taking some. Okay, idea. Sorry, sorry. Yeah. So idea, no view at the moment. Let's see what it is going to do over here. Aggressively speaking, you could go long. I will be very honest. Aggressively speaking, you could go long. Will still be a little more aggressive trade. Now I'm about 1 second. I'm about 15 points in the money. About 15 points in the money in all my calls. I'm making quite a handsome amount of money. What about you guys? What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Come on, message me. Did somebody make money? Okay, one hand is up. Two hands are up. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to just scalp out some money from there and keep my rest of my stop loss. Okay, scalp out some profits. Okay, and let the rest run. So, what am I saying about idea? Yeah, so idea, yes, it could be a little aggressive, but it could be a trade over here. Definitely. Hi, Mr. Sanjeev. You want to know about escorts and Oro Pharma? Okay, if in case I've missed out, anybody just message me. If in case I've missed out a message, well, I particularly have no view on escort, but of course we see the market is going higher, so it may pull back out of this consolidation. Okay, so daily chart is down. So when the daily chart is aggressively down, we need to be a little careful. But yes, there could be aggressive buy, and we could see it go higher. But I'm a more conservative trader, so I would say wait for some developments to happen, and then take your decision. Yeah. Okay. And the other stock which you were asking about is Oro Pharma. Oro Pharma. So Oro Pharma is a is a stock which is again a pharma stock. So you need to understand a few things about stocks which have a certain nature of movement. Like for example, pharma tend to be a little more volatile at times. Okay, so you need to be careful about that. And we have seen that the volatility has just emerged. So when the volatility emerges, generally the more downside is what is prevalent and stays. So don't be in a hurry to just go and buy it if you want to buy it. Yes, you can look for selling opportunities over here. That's what my short-term view is. But my long-term view is that the auto pharma stock has come to a major resistance area. We could either break it or go sideways for some time. But yes, we should be resting around here for some time. Jet Airways will give up move border 346. Dabur. Okay, so Jet and Dabur. Okay. 1 second, 1 second. Okay. Okay, thanks, Sanjeev ji. I'm writing your name. Jet Airways. Okay, so Jet Airways, I am a little apprehensive of aviation stocks. First of all, I'm a little apprehensive of Jet Airways particularly. It's a long-term downtrend. I hope, if you have a particular basis, then you have taken the trade, but just buying something out of news is a little bit of a dangerous thing. Before I went, I saw these moves, I did see these moves, etc. But it was not really this thing. So, I would not say you should go along on these, just like that, because the long-term trend is so fiercely down. Now, the only evidence which I see right now is that the area from where this move started is strong. Okay, is strong and holding. So we may take up some support over here, and for that reason, you could hold on to the stock a little longer and see if the support creates a wonderful pullback. So I would say that is one evidence, because this is generally what happens. But in the long-term downtrends, you should be careful from the long side, because you want to be more on the short side, right? That is what I would say. I'll take this is the last message of Milan G. Before that, there are two other stocks. So I'll take these three stocks as the last few stocks to talk about. So Dabur, Strides, Tube Investment, and Vakrangi. Okay, wait a second. Mr. Lakshman, Mr. Sanjeev, I hope all of you are satisfied with my answers. So let's take up Dabur first. Now, Dabur is something which Mr. Alfaz is looking at. I Mr. Alfaz, your name? Yeah, yeah. Why is your name not showing in this particularly? From your uh, stocks, I'm understanding. Okay. Head and shoulder, then correction, now trend is up. So the head and shoulder you're talking about, I'm not understanding particularly. I'll have to give it some time to understand. Maybe you're talking about these areas or this zone which I'm seeing, right? Maybe you're talking about these. Okay, maybe you're talking about these. So yes, we have seen there's an uptrend, and I have spoken about the Dabur at these levels being a cup and handle also. I don't know if the line is still there. Yes, the line is still there, 382. And yes, after that, we see that there's another correction. Yeah, I'm bullish on Dabur for the short term, guys. Undoubtedly, I'm bullish on Dabur for the short term, right? So then we were supposed to take strides. So let's take. We're not getting strides. Our collab. 1 second. What is the symbol now for strides? And okay, star is strides only now. I get confused with these all these different names because I'm so used to looking at the chart. मेरे को सिर्फ चार्ट देखना है. Okay. Uh, Pratik is asking scanning markets, any technical tools. Well, I would say Pratik, definitely you can use any tool you like, but whatever you use, make it in depth. Make sure it's in depth, okay? And make sure that whatever you're seeing, okay, is seen from a very clear perspective. You take weightage of multiple analytical tools, and then you go ahead and trade. Pratik has been very aggressive about his passion towards trading in markets. Definitely, therefore, you can join the course. Otherwise, keep coming to these sessions. I'll be more than happy to have you. Okay, and this is Star. Now, Star is a little sideways right now. I expect it to be sideways because you see, when again, it's like the Jet Airways, what it did. There's a strong move which happened. Now, this area of price move has been quite cemented. Okay, not necessarily will it continue, but if it does, then much higher we see. So when the price comes here and takes a support over here, it has not continued in this case. So keep your stop losses intact. Now stop loss means where your analytics gets invalidated. It does not mean that if it goes, the pullback cannot come. So you need to be careful if you're on the long side because this particular stock has shown so much downward move in the recent past and such steep moves that the long-term downtrend along with the entire sector could be intact. So you need to be very careful with that, okay, from the long side. And the short run in the near term, we could see some bounces and consolidation, and maybe up moves also. But this is still now the development. Yeah. Okay, I'm getting a lot of messages. Okay, so uh, PVR. Okay, PVR. Okay. Yeah, I'm still long on Nifty. I told you I'm long. I told everybody I'm long. I've taken calls. Yeah, I booked some profit, partial profit, but I'm still long. So he's gone long on PVR. Are we expecting bigger moves? He's saying. Well, yes, it's a medium term trade if you've taken. So you could expect bigger move. There were certain trend line breakouts, etc. Definitely it could lead higher. It is out of a very strong range. Okay. So if you're looking for something in the more short term, you'll take the recent lows as the stop loss. But definitely, I feel that in the short term, the movements developing on the upper side could happen on PVR. It's a clear case like that. Okay. But as the market may in case of any stock, when you are already in a trade, if the market changes the weather a little bit, you have to identify those weather changes and you have to take your trades quickly up or down in either direction, like that. Okay. So like for example, what is happening with Nifty? Okay. Now I have to see how exactly things are moving around with what I've thought about the market. Okay. And if these things sustain, or if the stop losses are hit, then I will have to take it humbly and it's completely fine, no problem. Okay. This is how trading should be done, very, very clearly. The other thing which I can do is that since my trade is just around in the money still with the rest of my position, I could keep my stop loss at cost. Now, keeping my stop loss at cost would mean that even if the trade tends to work out for me, I'm okay to get out. So there are two ways to go about it, because the bigger aspect of trading is money management. The smaller aspect of trading is to trade. If you can do the money management right, then you will definitely make money very easily in the markets. But if you cannot do the money management right and the psychology part right, then there is a problem. So you need to keep those things in your mind before you take any kind of trades, right? Yeah. So sorry guys for the little bit noise which is coming from behind me. Some work being done outside my window, right? So any other questions? Okay guys, so I will kind of close the session for today. And Vakrangi, okay, Milanji, I so forgot. Uh, okay. Uh, Mr. Milanji, definitely I would want to give a view on these stocks, but I would like you to understand one thing, that when the illiquidity is to a level where we see that the market is just doing up freeze and down freeze, then we must consider that technically we should not look at it so much, because the liquidity is not up to the mark. Because technical analysis, what it's about, mass participation. So there is no mass participation. I can give a view on the basis of charts, but it will not be that clear. And I want to be honest with you about this, right? Tube investment I look at. Okay, so this I would say, if you're looking from a very long-term perspective, technically don't do anything in this right now. And the short term, there's no use looking at it because it's full of these ups and downs, which are just up freeze and down freeze. So there's not a lot of healthy participation in it. Okay, I hope you're understanding, Mr. Millen. Trading is not about always getting something. It's about scanning and having the passion of the markets, and eventually your trades and your timings, that better trades will come. You have to give the market room to breathe. Sorry, tube investment. Well, yeah, somebody spoke about this stock recently with me, and yes, it's a long-term uptrend. That is all I can say for now. So there is no particular view to enter if you're entering for the long term. But yeah, if you are already in the trade, it's okay. You can keep a trailing stop loss and you can hold on to it. That is what I can say. Well, I don't do PMS service, Mr. Lakshman, but I can definitely assure you. You just send me your number, my team will get in touch with you. Each and every student who has come to my course is there in touch happily with me, and most of them, some of them who have not really gone ahead with trading, is because they are either students or college students who don't trade so much, and they eventually are trading after they're doing their jobs, or something like that. But 95% of the students are actively trading, healthily trading, and that is what I will say. You can definitely take that teaching service from me. PMS service I'm not doing. Teaching service is the best in India and the world. Online, consider it deeply, and definitely you can get in touch with my team. So guys, anybody else who is interested in the course can send in your number over here. My team will get in touch with you. If you want to set up a call with me, feel free to message me. And definitely, thank you. I'm getting 4 5 stocks now, Mr. Sanjeev, Mr. Uh, Anilji, and everybody. I'm sorry, I have to now sort of and call this a closure, kind of. Many people will watch this video and quite done for the day, right? So we'll get back to this. Yes, my position, somebody is asking, is still there on the index. Okay, so I have to check how it is doing. So the market came back a little bit and throwback was happening, and I'm still in the money, and possibly I should see upper higher moves. So I'm not worried about maybe around a recent resistance point I can see. So for that I will do, yes, some analysis also, no problem. Okay, so thank you so much. Okay, Mr. Lakshman, we get to learn online. So this is an online course. It's a 15 session online course. Okay, it's a completely online based course. So we will learn everything online. Okay, so make sure you just all, it's 12,500 is the fees. My team will send you all the details you need from the fees to the various topics that will be covered, etc. And we are starting next Saturday, Sunday, the 15th of December. We are starting. So make sure that you get in touch with my team. Mr. Lakshman, all you need is internet and a computer, and yes. So I have sent my number to all of you. I'm sending again. Mr. Tushar Bhatt has sent in his number. In case you miss a class, you will definitely have the recordings. Okay, definitely you will get the recordings. In case you miss the class, you will get the recording. So no worries about that. Yeah, and the recordings will be there. So Saturday, Sunday class recording will be there till the coming Friday, right? Okay, guys. Ms. Lakshman, I've sent you my team's number also. Okay, guys. Thank you everybody for joining me. It was a wonderful session. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Oh, just an update. Somebody is asking. Maybe, yeah, maybe I can close my position before 3:30 on Nifty. It's not a problem. I'm already made money on it, and in the money still on it. So yes, these sessions are just to tell you more about the study aspect of it. Sometimes we get very amazing trades. Sometimes we will get okay trades. Sometimes we don't get a trade. You will see on YouTube there will be many sessions like this, and you can really learn from it. Okay, so make sure the aspects you look at have some sort of synchronicity with the subject of understanding about price mechanism, which is technical analysis. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Yeah, take care, enjoy. Yes, the short term movement on the upside, you can enjoy some particular stocks also. You can enjoy shorting if they're shorting opportunities, and stay in touch, stay in my Telegram channel, stay tuned, take care, I'll see you soon, goodbye, enjoy, good night.